Hello dear children, good afternoon everyone, and once again welcome back you all to our online classes. So here now we have started the water chapter, and in that we have discussed about the water cycle. So this is the phenomenon by which we can understand how the rainfall takes place and how the water gets replenishes in the atmosphere. So see here, the water can be in the water cycle process, the water gets evaporated through many natural sources, such as the many trees are there, yes, and through those trees the evaporation of water takes place, yes, the many trees, because we know that in the plants there is a process takes place, we can call it as the transpiration, and either it is the small plant or it is whatever it is, the big plant or the grasses or any kind of plant. So through those the water transpiration, the transpiration of water takes place. So by that what happens? The water gets evaporated and present in the atmosphere as the water vapor, in the moisture, in the form of moisture the water is present. And also the water gets evaporated from the many other sources of water also, right, from the seas or from the lakes. So the water gets evaporated. So if we can see any source, any kind of sources of the water, okay, so through that the water gets evaporated and it also present in the form of water vapor in the atmosphere. So here the water can transfer through these plants also by the transpiration process, and even the water gets evaporated by the water sources also, right. So from here also the water evaporation of the water takes place, and also through many of the domestic activities like the clothing, the washing clothes, utensils, every time we spill the water, so that all water gets evaporated and that will be present in the atmosphere in the form of water vapor. So now we can see here through the plants, by the process of transpiration the water gets evaporated, and even the plants are present everywhere, okay. So through all those plants we know that already we have understood how much water can transpire through the plants. So many times, even the 1 kg of wheat crop, if the wheat crops, if it gives 1 kg of wheat, so that whole crop it can transpire, means it can release the water up to 500 liters. So it is approximately 25 bucket full of water. So if a wheat crop can release that much amount of water, think about other plants, how much water they releases into the atmosphere in the form of water vapor, right. So these all water vapors will be present in the atmosphere, and these are vapors. So from all the sources, from all the water sources and the plants, so the water gets evaporated and that will be present in the atmosphere in the form of gases, or what we call the water vapors. So later the water vapors means they are in the form of gas. So as they rise, gas means they can move freely, okay. So the gases, these water vapors, they move freely in the atmosphere, and at certain heights, when they reach some certain height, they form the clouds because of the less temperature. So there is a drop in temperature takes place, and they form the clouds, okay. So there we can observe the clouds Here the clouds are formed where the temperature is low. So what happened to these water vapors when the temperature become low? So when the temperature falls or when the temperature become low, that time these water vapors condenses and they convert into liquid form. So there the clouds are actually the deposition of water droplets. So as the water vapors goes and when they reaches some certain level there, so there the temperature fall. It means that low temperature will be there. So the area is cooler there. So when these water vapors reaches that extent, so these water vapors condenses and convert into the water droplets, and the clouds are actually the deposition of these water droplets. So these looks like they are floating in the sky. So actually what happened? They are the deposition, the water layers, they are only floating in the sky. So like how the cloud formation takes place by the process of condensation. So when the clouds form, so they are bigger in size, because as the water deposition takes place continuously, the cloud size will be increasing in the size. So when they become heavy, so that time they started falling to the ground back. Yes, they started falling to the ground back in the form of rain, and that process we call as the precipitation. Right? So when these clouds become heavy, they start precipitating and started falling on the ground in the form of rain or snowfall or in the form of frost or in the hails. So in that form it will reaches to the ground again, and that we call as precipitation. So this is how the water replenishes in the atmosphere, and this we call as water cycle. So this is the reason, due to this water cycle we can get the water again and again even we use it continuously, because it is replenishes in all these processes. Through the evaporation, condensation and precipitation, the water gets replenishes in the atmosphere, so that we get the water again and again. So it will not be buried. So either it may be present in any other forms. So either in the ice or in the water. So it will be collected in any one form. So this is how the water cycle takes place. So about this we have discussed in our previous classes also, and it is just a brief introduction again. Now we can discuss what happens if it rains heavily. So the rain, if it replenishes, means it will again the water sources will be filled and we can enjoy the water. So this is one task. Okay, this is the common what we are getting the water, and if it happens only this way, it is well and good for us. But if it rains heavily, what happens there? So that we can discuss now. What happens if it rains heavily? So usually when we get the rain, yes, we get the rain in the spring, right? So during the monsoon. So we get the rain during the monsoon. So it is after the summer. So summers are very hot, and after the summer when we get the rainfall in the monsoon, during the monsoon we get the rainfall. So it will bring some cool. So atmosphere will be very hot due to the hot summers. So after that when it rains, the atmosphere will be very cool. And if it rains heavily, what happens prevent the floods, because the main aim of building the dam is to store more water. But even if the dams are also filled completely, then they have to leave it to other places, because if the dams are, if they are burst, if they are, the dams are damaged means by the more amount of water, then it will be more dangerous. So because the dams can hold more water. So if any damages in the dams takes place, then it will be more dangerous even. So that they will also leave the water, and even by the overflowing, so it brings many loss in the people. It alters the life of the human in the more massive concern. So if the rain become heavy, then it causes the flood, so that many, even the animals which are living in the water, they are also flow through the water, and when they may trap in any land areas, so that even they also die. Many aquatic life that also can die, and it bring many contaminated means where the water gets polluted, because if when it flows through all the areas, so it brings all the waste through it, and it brings the soil through it, so it damages even the soil fertility also, because it brings all the humus in it, so that the soil will not get any nutrients. The nutrients will not be available to the soil, because it will flow with the water, so that it causes many effects on the life of the people. So this is what the floods, if it rains heavily, it causes the flood, which are very dangerous, and we can recover again, we can reform our houses and all, but the loss which takes place, that we cannot fill it. So that is what, if the rains heavily, it causes the floods, and that time from the government we can get many things. The buffer stock will be there, like the grains, water, everything will be there. They will provide everything, and even they made some shelters also, and even some of the other agencies also there, the non-government agencies, so they can also provide medicines, food, everything. But we lost our own property, and the whatever we earn, the domestic life, everything we lose by these floods. So this is what happen if it rains heavily. And what happens if it does not rain for a long time? Okay. Now, if it rains, we now understood that the floods will occur. Suppose if it does not rain for a long period, what will happen? What happens? What happens if it does not rain for a long period? So if for long period, if it does not rain for 4-5 years or 6-7 years like that, if it does not rain, what will happen? So the people will not get water for their daily usage. All the water will be filled in all the sources like ponds, lakes, rivers, everywhere, in the wells and all, and even the underground also. The water will be present in all these sources. But when it does not rain for long period, so that time we are using the water from those sources, and when we use it more, because we know with the increasing population, the use of water is also increasing day by day. water is the basic need. We need water for every purposes. We need water for washing clothes, cooking, drinking, and many other uses, and even for agriculture, and even we need this for factories and industries. So if we do not get the rainfall, if the water depletion takes place, the level in the water, then we are not able to, the sufficient water, it is not available if it does not rain. And then that condition we call as the drought. ಬರಗಾಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, drought. So if the drought takes place, so no animals, no plants, even water from the plants also get evaporated, and to prepare to synthesize the food in the plants, they need water. And if the transpiration takes place continuously, and if they are not getting the water back, then the crops also not yield anything. We cannot able to get the yield from the crops. So likewise, and even the soil, if the moisture content of the soil go on decreasing, we cannot grow anything in the soil. And also the domestic animals and the animals which are depending on the plants, so they will also not get the food. Even if human beings are not getting the food, means how those animals can get the food. So if there is no crops are growing, no water, no crops will grow. If the crops doesn't grow, means the animals, they will not get the food, so they will also die without food. So likewise this drought. So even if it rains more also, it is also problem. So there also the flood takes place, and due to the flood, when the water become over, even plants also undergo decaying. So if the excess water the plants also need water, but in some extent. Everything they are having the limit, so that much water, and we also drinking water, but continuously we are not able to drink the water. We need some amount of water to live. So likewise the plants also need some amount of water. If it excess, then also plant will not grow well, so they will undergo decaying. And if they doesn't get the water, then also the plants will not grow because of the less water availability. So likewise, if it rains heavily, that is also problem, and if it doesn't rain at all, that also problem. So only our life is convenient and it is comfortable when everything is in the balanced manner, and that is there in our hand only, right? So these are some natural phenomena which are occur, and so for this, if we maintain the environment neatly, then we have to grow the plants, and we have to conserve the water. So by that we can overcome with this natural phenomena. And now we can discuss how to conserve the water. How can we conserve water? How can we conserve water? Yes. So we all know that if it doesn't rain for long period, then there is a need of water, because as the population increases, the basic needs are also go on increasing. And when the drought takes place, you might have observed in many cities and all, there is a long queue for the water. So water will be available. So there is a long queue for water, you might have observed in many cities, because the level of the water in the ponds, lakes, rivers, that will be go on decreasing. The level of water goes down. And when the level of water goes down, with the increasing population, the day by day, the needs are also go on increasing. And so many times we can see, in such times we can see there is a lot of queue in front of the taps and all, where the water we get, and this is happened due to the droughts. So to conserve the water. So sometimes when it rains heavy, when rainfall takes place, that time most of the water will be wasted. So it will be run through the roads, and finally it will reaches some of the water sources like rivers and all. But when it reaches to the rivers and other sources of water, it is very difficult to bring it back to the homes. So there some pipelines will be there, through that pipes we get the water. So this is a long process. So it is very difficult to get water from that place. And even when the level of the water goes down in such water sources, so the water will not be reached to such extent if the distance is more. So that if the roads are made by the concretes, right? So when the roads are made by concrete, there is no seepage of water takes place, and this will be flow through the drainages, and through the drainages will be connected with the other sources of water. So when it reaches those sources of water, it will become quite difficult for us to get it back from those water bodies. So to overcome these problems, we can conserve the water in many ways. So the water conservation. So this is the natural resource. To get it in an easy way, we can conserve the water. So how can we conserve the water? So some processes are there. We can discuss now the two processes. That is the rainwater harvesting. By rainwater harvesting, we can conserve the water. So what do you mean by this conservation of water? So conservation of water means it is the collecting and storing water for the later use. Rainwater harvesting. So the rain is the source of water on the earth. So if we conserve the rainwater, then that only we can call it as the conservation of water. So the rainwater harvesting we call. So this rainwater harvesting can be done in two ways. So when the rainfall takes place, we can conserve the water. So one is the rooftop rainwater harvesting. The first one, it is rooftop rainwater harvesting. So in this rooftop rainwater harvesting, so what we can do is, so there will be the houses, right? So in the houses, so the water will be collected in the rooftops, right? The water will be collected in the roofs of the houses. So these roofs will be connected through the pipes. Yes, here some pipes will be connected here, and here in the ground some pits will be digged here. The pits, some pits will be made here, and then again they will be again connected into the large pits here. So some pits will be digged here. So here these pipes will be connected to these tanks, and when the water will be stored, when it rains, the water will be stored on the rooftop, and these water will be flowing through this natural resource and a very precious resource and one of the basic needs to survive. So this is about the water cycle and what happens if it rains heavily, and also what happens if it doesn't rain for a long period of time, and also we learn how to conserve the water, right? So this is about the water. I hope you have understood, and with this I will conclude my today's class. Even though if you have any doubts regarding this, you can contact me and clarify.